Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we're covering mobile app basics. This webinar will cover how to download the mobile app, a mobile app overview, how to search for customers, how to run through a job, creating invoices and taking payment in the field, and then we'll finish up with looking at the More tab and Settings tab for some extra features. And then we will do our live Q&A at the end so you can get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the very first thing that we are going to talk about is how to download the mobile app. So on your device, whether that's Android, uh, iPhone, Apple products, whatever it is, you will go to the app store that you download your normal apps from and type in WEX Field Service Management. That will pull up. You'll see the WEX FSM logo in red, just like this, and you'll download this to your device. You will need a username and password to log in. It would be the same username and password you would use to get into the system on desktop as well. And once you have that downloaded and you're logged in, you will be able to just start using the app. Now, a pro tip for using the app, this is kind of personal preference, but I do recommend that you go in and update the location services on your device to allow it to track while the app is closed. And the reason is because if you are wanting the maps to work in the app, if I'm in the office, I want to see my technician and be able to track where they're driving through the day. If you don't update your location services to allow it to track while the app is off, then the GPS tracker won't work while you have the app closed. So that's something that you would do that is on your device. That is not a WEX FSM thing. That is more just your individual device. But if you go to the Help Center, you're able to search for how to enable location tracking. So you would just type in the search, how to enable location. Might even pull up right there. And there it is. We have an article, how to enable location tracking on your mobile device. And you would just follow the instructions there. Next, let's get into the actual mobile app itself. Once you log in, you'll log into the mobile app and you will be brought to the jobs page. When you're on the jobs page, you will notice at the very top, there is a daily time. There are two time clocks in your system. You have a daily time, which will track your entire day, and you have a job time that will track time on each job that you do. For the daily time, it's very simple. You just tap clock in, and that will start the time clock. Now, at this point, typically, I would just continue on with my day, let this run in the background. At lunchtime, I can clock out. It'll stop the time clock. I come back from lunch, I'll clock in again. And then at the end of the day, when I'm ready to clock out, I will clock out. That's typically the last thing you would do before closing the mobile app for the day. Those timestamps are recorded in your system, and the office will be able to look at the reporting for that for tracking payroll. You'll see the date. You have a date selector. So this little arrow right here is actually a drop down. And that allows you to select which day you want to see. So I'm looking at today's schedule, but if I want to just spot check what's going on Monday, I can select that date and hit done and see my appointments for that day as well. If I want to go back to today, it's outlined in blue. Select it and hit done. From here, you are able to see your appointments. So I have 3 appointments I need to do today, one at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and 1 p.m. I can see the customer name, the job number, and the job name. That's why naming your jobs is important because I can see just what these are at a glance. I've got a general service call, a furnace install, and a maintenance visit. You have a couple quick actions that you can use as well. If you want to call the customer, you can call them with this little phone icon. If your device has calling, so just realize that when I click on this, this knows that my computer has Zoom, let's say, but when you are on the mobile app, it's going to pull from your device. So if your device does have a way to call out, then it will allow you to use this. If you don't have that, um, there's no way it would be able to send if you don't have that. Text the customer, same thing. And then this is really nice. This will give you GPS directions out to the location. And that will simply pull up whatever Maps app you have on your device and use that. The work queue is down below, so you can see draft appointments here. Those would be your service requests and unassigned appointments. And if you want to take a step back to a previous page in the mobile app, that is the arrow in the top left. If you want to search for a customer, so I see my appointments are here, but I would like to just quickly search for a customer. Click the Customers tab and type in your customer name. They'll show up if they are in your customer list. If not, you can add a new customer by tapping New. But let's look at Justin Hernandez. And then similar to the desktop version, you can see the main primary contact info here, default address. If you click on the address here, you'll see all of the sublocations that they have. And then this pulls attachments, notes, context, history, everything you need. If I want to look at jobs, I would go to customer history. And then this is a way to see any notes that are attached and then a history of the jobs that we've done. And each of these have a ton of notes, and you can see everything that's inside of these job folders at a glance from here. So it's just a great way to look at your customers, view their history and account details. Taking a step back here. Let's go back to the Jobs tab at the bottom. And now let's run through a job together. So our scenario today, let's say that I am a technician. I'm out in the field. Perhaps I'm sitting in my truck. I'm getting ready to start my day and go to my first job. I'll open the app. I'll clock in and I'll take a look at my first appointment. All you do here is tap on the appointment. The first thing you'll notice is the job time clock. So this is the time clock specifically for this job. Now, I, at this point, am ready to start driving out. I can see a picture pulled from Google of what the location will look like when I get there. So I have a little reference. And I most likely will do GPS directions first. So right here, this little GPS icon, I'll tap that, look at where I need to go. I'll start my directions. And now I can see, all right, cool. This will take me about 15 minutes to get there. Then I will start the time clock. So tap on idle, and we will choose on my way. And what that's going to do, that will start the job time clock because now I'm going to start driving out to the location. And if you have the appointment notification en route turned on, then it will also send a message to the customer letting them know their technician is on the way. So we're driving. We get out to the location. I look, yep, I'm in the right place. And now let's see what notes have come from the office about this job. So I'm going to do a little investigation before I go in and talk to the customer. So I can see notes are here. This initial call note will show you the notes. This is great for gate codes, filter sizes, any reminders. Do they have pets? Is the unit in a weird place that you may not find right away? Things like that. And then underneath that, we have tools that you can use on the job. And so now that I'm here at the job, I can tap my job time clock again, and I'm just going to select check-in. And that will put a timestamp that now I have arrived at the job. It will update the status to at job. And in the office, they'll be able to see graphically that I'm at the job doing the work. And now we will go in and do the work. You may need to take pictures of things. If you do, you can upload those as attachments. You simply click New. You can upload from your device, from your camera roll, or you can take a picture directly from the app. Those will be attached to this job, and then whether it's from the office or from mobile, you'll be able to see those attachments. Calls and notes will allow you to see any notes. Belled notes specifically will show up here as well. Customer history, that will be the job history. So you can reference what was done at this location beforehand. And then equipment. You can track equipment. This is a really great feature. You're not going to remember the equipment and model numbers of every location that you service. So this is a great reminder of the equipment on location. If you have added equipment before, you will see a historical record here. Any job that you do in the future, you'll be able to see what equipment is on location from the equipment tab here. If you're going to document a new piece of equipment, you'll tap New and just fill out the information. This will allow you to put the equipment name, manufacturer, model number, serial number, installation date, description, physical location. Is it in a confined space? Are there any warranties? You can get super detailed here. Even take photos of the equipment. When you're done, you'll click Save, and that will be added to the equipment list for this location. Let's take a step back here. And now at this point, I have completed the job and I need to invoice the customer, pull pricing in from my price book, and take payment to finish the job. To do this, tap on Invoices, and then tap New. And you have two options here. The first one is New Invoice, which will create a new invoice from scratch. And then copy from existing will copy a previous invoice, pull all that info over to a new document for the new customer. And that can save you some time. If this is a job I know that I've done a million times, I'll just copy that. I can make edits for the new customer as needed, but the copy feature does come in handy once you get rolling in the system and you have some forms to copy from. For today's example, we will choose new invoice. When you're on the invoice, you are able to update invoice details just by tapping on the customer's name at the top here. You can name the invoice. You can mark the invoice as a favorite. That's great if you want to copy this in the future. Let's say that this is uh, a job that you do all the time. You can mark this as a favorite. Favorites will show up first when you click copy. And it's just a great way to keep all your most common invoices right at the top of that list when copying. Update the technician. You can even down below here change the pricing strategy. And so everything in your system will start as a standard price, which will include a parts markup. Your pricing from your price book will come in with no additional charges or upcharges upcharges. If you want to change the pricing strategy, you just tap on that and you can update it here. Now, the maintenance plan price will automatically apply if the customer is a maintenance plan customer, so you don't have to worry about coming in and updating that. It will already apply automatically. Let's get out of those details. And now it's time to access our price book. So we are going to tap Add Items. And we've made some really great updates to the functionality of the price book here. You are able to search by either typing in a keyword or key phrase here. So I want a general part. And there we go. This is what I was looking for. And to add, you will tap the plus button. You will tap the plus to add as many quantity as you want. Tap the minus to take away. If you want to remove this, you can click the trash can icon and that will take it out of the queue. And the queue down below here, I really love. It's kind of like I'm shopping. I'm gonna add this item, and that has now added into my queue. I can see I have one item for $270. Let's get rid of my terms in the search bar. So you can use the search to just continue searching for what you want, but you can also choose from the folders here. So I already have my general part. Let's add a general labor. So I'll just tap on the folder. That will give me a drop down. I'll go to my service folder and let's select my general labor. And let's say I worked 2 hours or I want to charge for 2 hours of labor. We'll go ahead and make that a quantity of 2. I can now see I have my queue has updated at the bottom here. And let's say that I know I want to recommend a filter change. I'm doing something different. We're charging you for, the parts and the labor today, but I want to recommend to them when I show them this invoice that they could also add on a filter replacement. So to add a recommended item, you will do that the same way. I'll look for a filter. And let's say we'll do filter replacement for 75 bucks. Now, instead of just clicking the plus button here, I'm actually going to tap on the item itself to open it up. And then down in the bottom left, you'll see recommend. And we want to recommend it for today on this invoice. I could change those filters in a jiffy. And now let's hit add. And that has also added that to our queue. So I have all the things that I want from here. I guess just a quick tip before we move on. You do have multiple price books if that's part of your subscription. So what we looked at right now, it says price book here. That's your WEX FSM price book. If you have the Profit Rhino flat rate add-on to your subscription, you will have the flat rate price book here from Profit Rhino. And if you're syncing to QuickBooks and you use your QuickBooks item list, you'll use that here. And this will pull in items from your QuickBooks item list. At the very bottom, there's an arrow just above the add button. And if I tap on that, it will show me what is in my queue to add to the invoice. So we have my part here, we have my labor here, and we have my recommended filter replacement. So this is looking good. I'm going to hit add to add these items to the invoice. Now, once you're here, you do have a couple options of editing. You can tap and drag to reorganize these, put them in the order that you want. If you want to edit a line item, you just tap on it and you can change the name, the price, the quantity, the tax, description. You could even, let's say that I forgot to add one of these as a recommended item. I can just click recommend this invoice and save, and it'll move it from the product section down to the recommended section. If you want to update taxes right here, you can tap on tax, update the tax group. Let's say, you're working with a school and you want to charge 0% tax. You can just change that here. And then you have your recommended item here. These notes right here, this note section, these are the invoice notes. So these are customer facing. These are the notes that will be attached to the invoice and the customer will be able to see. You don't have to put anything here. Maybe you just want to put thanks for your business. And then we are looking good. We know how much we're charging the customer. Taxes are good. We got our recommended so we can get the revenue of each of our invoices up and we're ready to present. So you will tap present invoice. That will put this in present mode, which I could take my device, turn it around and show it to the customer if they're standing in front of me. This is one viewable option that you have is to just look at the present mode. If you want, you can use the view PDF option. This is another view option. So if we tap view PDF, it will open in a new tab and show you the PDF version. Some of my customers, they prefer to show it like this because they like seeing their logo. And this is a little more, traditional style of what an invoice would look like. But that is just a view option if you want. We're going to go back to the app. And then you are able to see the information here. Let's say we're talking to the customer and we say, it'll be 7/18/58 today. If you want, I can go ahead and update your filter, look at all the leaves in this filter I just pulled. Let's go ahead and get that replaced. That'll be another 67.50 today. If they agree, then you'll click the plus button and that will add it to the products and update it in the amount you're charging. But if they do not want it, you are able to, you can go back. And add that. Well, I'm doing this as an example. So let's put it back so you can see the other way it would go. So we're going to do this invoice and save, present. And then right here, I decline. So then you'll have a record saying that they declined the recommendation. But we're masters of persuasion, so we are going to add this, and we'll go ahead and sell that to the customer today. And then you can grab a signature. They are able to use their finger just to sign and hit complete. And now you have a couple options for taking payment. Process payment will process through WEX FSM and send the money to your bank account. Record payment, you will not process through WEX FSM. That's if you're processing outside of the system. A good example of this is if you're taking a cash payment, you would record payment, record that you took the cash, but then you'll still need to take that cash to the bank to process it. Or you can also just send this to the customer. Sending it to them, if I hit send invoice, you'll select who you want to send it to. You can add a personalized message if you want, and then they will see the PDF, they can review it, and they can hit make a payment and pay online. And that will follow the same rules as process payment, that it will process through WEX FSM and send the money to your bank account. For today's example, let's do record payment. You're going to confirm that this is the total payment amount and tap next. And then choose a payment type. Let's say that they're paying with a check today. Enter the check number. You can add a memo, like a note here if you want, and then record payment. Now we can see the invoice is on the invoices page. If I slide my finger to the right, that will reveal some options here. We can send, view PDF, process a payment, or record a payment. Slide your finger to the left and you can delete. So these sliding actions, that is something to know as you're working with the app for the first time. If you don't see an option that you think should be there, try swiping. You will be able to just swipe on some of these to do those actions. If you want to update the status, so right now this invoice is closed and I forgot, I really wanted to put a note in there, but I can't edit it in a closed state. You just tap on the word closed, and that will allow you to update the appointment, or I'm sorry, the invoice status. Click Open Draft, which will allow you to make edits, and then you can always come back and set it to whatever the status was. In this case, it was closed. All right. So that was, we created our appointment. We clocked in for the appointment, did the job, created the invoice, accessed the price book, took payment. The last thing I'm going to do is just make sure I clock out. So we'll go back to the appointment page. And the final thing I'll do to complete this job before I move to my next job is tap on the job time clock and check out. Is this appointment complete? Yes. And there we go. And that will update and let the office know as well. That appointment will turn gray and they'll know that everything is in order. Last thing, we're going to go over the More tab and the Settings tab, and then we'll get into our Q&A. So if you look at the very bottom, we have a More tab. From here, you have a couple options. We can view the price book. Normally, you're viewing the price book from an invoice, which means I have to go to an appointment, get into a job, go into the invoice, hit add items, and now I can look at my price book. Uh, there's a quicker way. You can spot check pricing from the More tab and tap Price Book. Now, this is a view only price book. I can't create an invoice or add these to an invoice from here. This is just if I want to look at my pricing and see what it is as I'm getting my idea together for the job, maybe. You also can see hours worked. So when you are clocking in and clocking out using the time clock, you want to look and just see, make sure that these time clock entries are correct. You can come here and view the hours worked report. You can tap into each one of these to drill down into daily specifics of each timestamp you've done, and it also provides totals for you as well. Next is settings. So if you tap on settings down below here, you can update the app theme. Do you want this to be in light mode? Maybe you prefer dark mode, or you can just have it match your device settings. So whatever setting you have on your device, it will follow that. You can change your profile photo, update your password. This feature is so download price book. If you're going into a really bad service area, you know you're not going to have service, you won't be connected to the internet, you will no longer have access to your price book because your price book is saved on the cloud. But I can download my price book to my device, and then even if I don't have service, I can still create proposals and invoices. I would add items to my invoices, let's say, and then when I drive back into a good service area, it will just automatically update and resync to the cloud. If you're using card readers, this is where you will go to pair your card reader. The Help Center down below here is where you can access customer care and view training. But if this little smiley face guy kind of gets in the way, you don't want to see that down here, you can just toggle that off. Just remember, if you want to use the Help Center and maybe chat in and ask a question to customer care, you do need to have this Help Center icon enabled. Okay, that is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope you learned something. We're going to move to our Q&A now, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Mobile App Basics.